is apparently all working. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Dugan, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man.
We got Bobby Dugan from the left coast because we have people had their practices rescheduled. Scotty Dukes is under the weather again, or he just doesn't want to see us this week. I'd argue in either direction. Rubba Shoes is with us from beautiful downtown Lowell. Little Shoes is with us from the other studio in beautiful downtown Lowell. And are we everywhere we're supposed to be, boys? Are you checking?
I see we're up, so.
Yeah, where are we?
On YouTube.
You see it? We're on YouTube. That's good news.
I just sent a link. Let me see. Yeah, when you click it, we're up.
Okay.
All right, sweet. Fantastic.
Nothing on Facebook.
Nothing on Facebook. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're at least on YouTube. That's all that really matters.
Yep.
I guess we can throw it to Facebook later, I suppose.
All right. Cool.
Sound good? Are we moving forward? There's not a piece of this that shocks me that it didn't work the way I designed it to work. But here we are with a brand new graphics package for the final week of 2021, heading into 2022. Bobby Dugan, who is unofficially been on the show because we've been burning him in effigy because he's what is your record now in our fantasy football league, Dugan?
He just lost to my wife.
Shut up. How's that sound?
What? No, talk. No, you've been doing. You're doing great. You did lose. You did lose to Mother Shoes this week.
I believe until last night's disaster, I was 11-3.
Okay.
So we have a podcast with a bunch of guys, and we decided to do a fantasy league, and two of the wives are in the finals.
So who's in right now?
It's Mother Shoes versus Mother Dukes.
Oh, Mother Dukes is in the final. So that's the final?
Yep.
None of us got in.
Nope.
To be fair, I stopped trying after week 4.
So
yeah, but
Mother Shoes took out Bobby Dugan, and Mother Dukes took out Scotty Dukes.
But that is like a terrible, like really terrible. I'm making fun of Little Shoes because he's like, I stopped trying. Like when exactly? What was the exact minute you decided?
The second you said it's not for money, that's when I stopped trying. If you recall.
Before we drafted, we decided it wasn't for money.
Correct. Yeah.
That's
correct.
why I said
That's
right from the start,
trying.
this league doesn't matter.
All right.
So you were just randomly generating a lineup every week and hoping for the best?
I checked it here. I made sure I had a full lineup. I didn't want to have,
I had 3 leagues.
People that were on the bench and stuff.
Last night,
I made sure my lineup was good to go.
Yeah, but for clarity's sake, when you admonished us because this league wasn't for money, then I asked you about you're in one other league.
Yeah.
I'm in 2 other leagues.
How much is the other league, Rubba Shoes?
To pay to get $75 to get in.
Okay, and how much are you not winning because I trust you're not in first place over there?
But I owe $10.
Okay. And you feel better about that because you lost money as opposed to just in a league.
Mother Shoes is in the finals in our league and the one that we care about.
I should have been in the finals, but Miami defense destroyed.
So for clarity,
Poor Ian Book.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, let's talk about last night. About last night.
You were loving that, weren't you?
Great quarterback debut.
I got to be honest. When I looked up, so I had book club. I was at Pease in the men's indoor league with Coach. When I got home from book club, driving home, listening to what is it? What is his name? Who does it? It's Monday Night Football. Westwood One does Monday Night Football, and I'm trying to think. Kevin Harlan.
It's Kevin Harlan.
Kevin Harlan, yes. And Harlan was talking about the fact that it's the Miami Dolphins and the New Orleans, and I'm like, this is going to be pretty terrible. And it was. And so I got home and settled down for a long winter's nap and TikToked while they played football behind my phone. And, Ian Book had thrown the pick 6 before I got home. So I didn't get to see that. I felt it in the warm cockles of my cockles, though, because that's a pleasure. It's great.
That was the dagger in the heart of my team, basically.
Was it really? Was that
Yeah.
it? So
I was winning by 42, and I think in that league the defense put up like 43.
Dugan was winning by how much going into that game?
I had a 21-point lead going into last night with only the Miami defense left to play.
Uh-huh. And
Miami put up 25 fantasy points.
yes.
Yep.
Mother Shoes put up 25 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about it. It's a sore subject with me.
Yeah. You're still in the final though, I trust. Yes.
And
No,
the
I'm
kid
out.
that I lost
I get
to,
bounced.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, both wives are in. You got nixed. Did last night nix you out of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's
That
the
was the
great.
semi-
I didn't make that
94%
connection.
94% chance of winning according to the app going into that game.
Yeah.
And I lost.
That's phenomenal.
Thanks to that wonderful Saints offense.
Phenomenal. So obviously, we've covered all the fantasy that everybody was dying to hear about because it affects actually nobody on the show is directly affected by the fantasy final. We'll check in with our wives who are clearly better than us at fantasy football. We do need to talk about. I think it's touching all sports right now. As I shared with you guys, we were supposed to be going to BC basketball tomorrow. Possibly Saturday is going to get lit up. The UNC game is Saturday. Just the fact that COVID has nixed almost everything going on in sports right now. It's touching all the leagues. We have to definitely talk about Sunday, which was great. Where do we want to start? Are we starting with the fact that the Bruins and the Celtics can't keep a whole team on the court or the ice? Or do we want to go to the Patriots? What are we talking about?
let's just go into Patriots because I already have. That's like all the energy I have. I want to put into that.
Oh, okay.
I guess
He still cares about that. Good. Okay. All right. Excellent.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about other stuff that's just already depressing. I want to go to the main depression focus and put all my energy into that.
Well,
yeah,
and our resident NFL expert with all of the rules that you don't think you should know about the NFL, Dugan is here, which is great because I do want to talk about the fact that I'm hyper excited about next year. I believe it's next year, Dugan. They're bringing back, and we can talk about this as we talk about the Patriots. I believe they're bringing back the alternate helmet for the Patriots because there was that stupid rule. I mean, I appreciate their concern around concussion protocol. The stupid rule about multiple helmets and every other team has the same colored helmet for their alternate uniform, so it wasn't an issue for them, an issue for Patriots fans because the helmet's silver, not white, Pat Patriot, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we'll get to all that. Talk to me about, and I'll start with Dugan, what do you think the biggest issue was on Sunday? What was the biggest issue?
The defense couldn't stop. The defense, they just couldn't stop Buffalo.
The
bottom line.
Didn't it feel like, and because I feel like our secondary has been a lot stronger as of late, didn't it feel like maybe 10 years ago? Remember you'd be watching the game on TV and you felt like every time the opposing receiver was being thrown to, none of our players were in the frame. Like everybody was always wide open on TV, and like watching the game Sunday, and my the wife and I brought the boys to the game on Sunday, and it was tough to watch from the stands. Never mind, I'm sure on TV it was just as bad, although you might have been warmer. It was just the same thing. It was all those little dink and dunk passes over the middle, and they were just playing back. And there was Stephon Diggs looked like he had a Hall of Fame game, which he really didn't, but he did. I mean, he didn't have.
It was actually Isaiah McKenzie
had a really right. Yeah. He had a. Did he have technically a bigger game? Did he have more yardage and more receptions?
I think he had yes.
So, how do they cure that? I mean, and do you feel like they're done now? Do you feel like Pats are out and they're fried, or is there still hope?
I don't think the Pats are out. I think they're a wild card team. But what really bothered me about Sunday is how many times did they get a third down conversion? How many times did they just need that one last stop to get back in the game, or that possible pick that happened towards the end of the game that could have tied the game up or put the Pats ahead? They were just at least one step behind Buffalo the entire game, and that surprised me given the way they played against the Colts. And usually when you do bad on national television, Bill gets you ready for the next game. I was just disappointed to not see that this week. The Bills came out. They were ready to play. They had a game plan. I just didn't think the Pats were ready, and it showed. I don't think they got killed. I don't think
I
they
think
were
they got
terrible.
exposed
It's
of what
just
they really
Buffalo's a better
are.
team, and that clearly showed.
Go ahead, Rubber Shoes.
Yeah, I think so. The game in Buffalo, the wind helped the Patriots win that game, and I think they showed against the Colts and Buffalo in decent weather. They're not the defense that was the 7 in a row. We played a lot of teams that were missing key players, so I think when they play against a team that has all their and actually Buffalo didn't have all their players, but they had their the Diggs and Josh Allen, and I just don't think they're on that elite level that we thought for a couple weeks they might be on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Just as a preface, I was at work, so I only saw like the first drive of this game pretty much, thankfully. But I think it's weird because I think the trend throughout at least the middle of the season was our defense is really good, but the thing that might be holding us down is our offense. Like, yeah, we shut out, the Jets, picked them off 4 times when we only scored, 24 points. We should have scored a lot more. And now it's like the opposite for the last 2 weeks where it's like Colts demolished us, and then we started catching up offense-wise, and then defense let up a big play that couldn't let us, stay in the game. Same thing this week. We started catching up to them within 1 score, and then defense let up a play, and we couldn't do it. So, I mean, there's positive take out about because, at least our offense showed that they can stay in it. Kind of like the Dallas game.
Mm-hmm. Same
But,
type of deal. Well, I think
we already knew we couldn't stop the run, but this week was just I don't know.
I think
We
what
couldn't
was
stop the pass.
We couldn't
most
stop
frustrating.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, what's most frustrating too is they were building I think they were mentally erecting the statue for Mac Jones a few weeks ago, and how just nationally, everybody was all over his case. This is great. My God, they've done it again. How do they pull this off? And I'm not questioning how good he is or how ready he is. He's if everybody takes a deep breath and steps back, think about the fact that, he's an 8th grader. Let's remind ourselves of that. They went on a prolific run. These 2 games have been horrible. He hasn't looked great or confident. And this is his freshman year. I'm so annoyed. And then yesterday morning it was inescapable, right? So I'm home, the wife's home, and we're flipping around, and everything you put it on, ESPN 19, ESPN Espanol, C-SPAN Sports, everybody was referring to the Bills game. And what drives me crazy, because it's all happening, and on the other side of the coin, you have the Chiefs are now cruising along.
Which just
It
sucks
makes
so
it makes
bad.
it work. It is the proverbial salt in the wound, because I can't stand them. I mean, I think I have that shirt printed. It's here
we all
somewhere.
sound like jerks because we're the Patriots fans. Like, oh, the Chiefs are good again. This sucks. We're
it's
sick
super
of them.
annoying.
It's been 3 years.
But here's the thing: nationally, when Mahomes and the Chiefs lose, nobody talks about it. You feel like they had a bye week. There's not this deep conversation about they're a problem, or he's off, or his brother should probably stop, TikToking
Breathing.
before games, all the things.
Well, Timmy, do you think that has more to do with the expectation level? When the Patriots were good, they were really good for a long time, and they were always going to be the top story on national media just because of Brady, because of the rings, because of Bill. Kansas City hasn't been at that level that long, and I don't think that they would get that level of media attention that the Patriots got all those years just yet. And I think when we compare the two, it may seem like Kansas City's not getting as much of a magnifying glass on them, but I don't necessarily know if that's true, that they're not getting that scrutiny that they probably, you think, should have towards the middle of the season when they weren't doing as well as they are now.
Yeah, they definitely piled it onto them for a little bit there. Where I saw a lot of conversation of, are they done? Is Mahomes not that good? ESPN definitely did. But I think another reason for it is just we've been the center of attention for over 20 years now. So even last year when we were god awful, we were still in that center of attention because that's what everyone's used to.
Yeah, so
Exactly. And then it doesn't seem like the same level of attention. And I think that's what you're getting at, Timmy. It doesn't seem like the Chiefs are being criticized as much as the Patriots were. The Patriots had all that baggage for all those years. There's so many haters across the country.
Mm-hmm.
There are haters here, haters everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes good TV, makes for good discussions on podcasts and ESPN and all that. So that's why I think you're seeing what you're seeing or feeling the way you are. Give the Chiefs a few years. You know, if they keep going at this rate and some scandal hits, they'll have it just like the Patriots do. But people just don't hate Kansas City the way they hate New England.
Yet.
Right. They're still hating Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, and I just said yet, and I hope it never gets to that point, because if it does get to that point, that means they've created a dynasty, which I don't want to live on this planet for. Like that was, because last year we joked about the fact that when Brady left, I was a woman scorned. I wanted him to go to 0-16. And then it got to the point where it was him and Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I'm like, oh, he's got to win because he's got to defend our honor. He's got to shut down the possibility of a dynasty starting in Kansas City. And he did, thank God. And now I'm right back on the I want everybody to lose again and take my ball and go home because I'm super annoyed that we just lost 2 straight to 2 teams that we should have handled business against. First seed in the AFC 2 weeks ago. And now we're on the outside looking in. And I'm so glad I remembered. Oh, my dear sunny baby Christmas Jesus. How are we we're in the category for the wild card, like we're all waiting for a bus that's not going to show up, with the Ravens, who are they're electing to lose games every week. They're like, we're going to go for 2 again. It didn't work last week. We'll do it again. Like the definition of insanity, right? The fact that we're in that category is so absolutely annoying to me. Where do you think we end up?
Well, I think my big takeaway from this, because a lot of people after this loss was like, oh, the Patriots aren't even going to make the playoffs now. We can somehow lose to Jacksonville and lose to Miami and still have a decent chance because all these other wild card contenders right now are just losing. Chargers are finding every way to lose. Ravens are finding every way to lose. Like all the other teams that are in competition with us are just piling up the losses. So it's like,
if they lose to Jacksonville, I don't want to see them in the playoffs.
Oh, once again, if we lose to Jacksonville, everybody dies. But I'm saying there's not much we need to do to get in the playoffs, even if we aren't that great, just because everyone surrounding us is worse still.
Why, Rubba Shoes? Are you trying to get in here again? What's happening?
It kicked me off.
No, you're still with us.
Oh,
you're 1,000% here.
Okay. Oh, that was my okay.
We're learning the new tech, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Is my audio?
Which we haven't actually said. Welcome to the show. ATBshow.com. You can go there. It's our link tree. It's the links for all the things.
Well, I think
we're working on going directly to YouTube and Facebook, and we'll get there in the next couple.
Are
of
you
years.
telling me I have the best connection sitting in my car on an iPhone 3,000 miles away?
It could be the case.
Possibly.
Could be the case.
Okay.
Rubba Shoes,
we
you
have
good?
Three people watching. Well, one of them's me, and I think one of them's Tyler. So we actually have one other person. I think
there's one person.
No, I'm not on it.
I believe it's my cousin out in New Mexico that's watching live.
There it
Hi,
is.
Robin.
And we got Dugan on the West Coast in the show. So it's a nationwide broadcast. It's very exciting.
And Timmy, to get back to the COVID thing, you guys probably heard this already. This came down not too long ago. The Holiday Bowl is here in San Diego tonight. They canceled the game. It's like half of the defensive linemen for UCLA have COVID. So the game completely canceled.
So the other day,
after they just took Petco Park and completely transformed it into a football stadium. Looked great, and now that's all wasted.
Oh boy. Yeah, so obviously BC got lit up and they canceled the Military Bowl, and that was on us. And then the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, which, Dugan, I knew you were going to fly home for that one. The Wasabi Fenway Bowl, Virginia had too many sick players. That got canceled. And that's for the Patriots to finish up, here's my concern. I think Miami is a losable game on paper because we'll just find a way. which is, and I'm still hoping for 8-9, Dugan, because I want to be right. Mathematically impossible, as Rubba Shoes reminds me every week after we went to 9 wins. I still think there's a way. They'll go back to deflate gate and take a game away or something like that. Who knows? So I think the Miami game scares me, and I think we haven't had a brush. We haven't truly, our team hasn't had a huge brush with COVID yet. And I feel like that could be in the wings. And I think Jacksonville is just a trap game. I think we're like, there's no way we lose 3 straight. And I think there's maybe too much confidence or false confidence or a touch of COVID.
Plus, we
or
have
all
the
above.
Little Shoes jinx.
What was that?
He got the Matt Judon jersey for Christmas, so
acting like he didn't
Judon
buy
has
it.
COVID now. So
Well, has anybody from our team recently, and I'm going to go hard no on this, there's the jinx also going on now with Peyton and help me, the Manning brothers.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Manning cast.
If you
whoever's
go
on
on,
the
if you
show.
go on with the Manning brothers, your team loses
lose
the next
next
week.
week.
Yes, but that's been passed for us because obviously you only go on during the bye week typically. So I think we might be okay there. But I think the COVID thing nationally now, I don't know if this was the CDC. I believe it was the CDC. They're now saying that the quarantine is not 10 days anymore, or isolation is not 10 days. Now it's 5 days.
yeah,
But I still don't think that really matters when it starts to sweep through a team, right? I mean, and now we're punching out of the Olympics. Well, at least the NHL did. I think a lot of other. I think that's going to be just an easy thing for a lot of countries to do because nobody wants to go to China. Because if you get quarantined in China, sounds like probably the worst vacation ever, right? You know, can't even imagine what that looks like.
well, we got a live chat going on YouTube, and Janina Lindsay said the
Gianna,
third
yes,
person is
that's
me.
how it's pronounced. Yep.
Yeah, the third person is me. Hi, Bobby Dugan.
Hi, Bobby Dugan.
Hello, Janita. Thank
Yeah.
you for the card again. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's Scotty Dukes and Janina watching.
okay. Well, yeah, everybody's here, which is really good, and eventually we'll get this to actually go to Facebook at the same time too.
Yeah.
But as long as it's almost working, we're getting there. So talk to me, Celtics Rubber Shoes. Joe, go. What you're going to start laughing, so I'll let you finish my thought.
So they lost Tatum for last night's game, but still, Minnesota was missing their starting 5. So they should have won that game. They still had Jaylen Brown. They had Al Horford back. They had Grant Williams back. They had Robert Williams. They had 4 of their 5 starters.
Real killer's row of stars here.
So I don't know what they can't hold a lead. They've lost, I think, 3 in a row in the fourth quarter coming down the stretch. They were up by 19 against Giannis on Monday, and they lost. They were up. I don't know how many
They
they
ruined
were up
Christmas.
last night.
Yeah,
but
they ruined Christmas. Correct.
ruined
Yep.
Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I don't know. They on the way home today, listening to the fill-ins on the sports talk during the vacation week. They're all saying, "Blow it up."
Well, they're going to do something with the players, but is it too soon to say that Ime's not the coach?
That's what I feel. I would love to have Scotty Dukes on today to tell me what he thinks about
I don't know.
because he
I
was a
feel
big
like
fan
we
of
had the
his.
same
to come in
conversation
and-
last year with Stevens. Maybe it's
Stevens is
not
Stevens up
the coaching.
up top, just laughing all the way to the bank. He's like, "Oh, I'm still getting paid. I don't have to take any of the ridicule." And see, it wasn't me.
Well, and then Ainge went to Utah
Yeah,
Yeah.
and said like he referenced the fact that he was happy to get out of the Boston situation, or however he termed it.
I think we're finding out that the 2 top players that we have might be the problem.
Yeah, well, but Ime was coming in, right? They brought him in
Yep.
because he was the choice of those 2, and now that's
Right,
not working.
but
So
they haven't changed how they play.
who do you think the fix
So
is?
what's
Do
the?
they
I mean,
get
I
Beal?
haven't followed the Celtics and Bruins as much as I follow the Pats and Red Sox. What is the deal with the Celtics? Is the chemistry that bad that people just not
Yeah.
getting along? Is that what it is?
So the way that I've been saying all season long is when Tatum is not in the game, they play better. They play better as a team because
Duke
I think
said it doesn't
they're
look
out
like
there.
he's ready to be a head coach, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So he chimed in.
I think the
Yeah, I
main
forgot
problem
we
is they kind of brought in a coach just for 2 players, and maybe he's just working like he's trying to elevate the 2 players, not elevate them as a team together
And I
to
think
play.
what we thought, and we thought it was Kyrie when he was here. Kyrie was the problem, but he left because he thought the problem was Tatum. I don't know how
Brown.
much Brown is also, but it's definitely. I think it's a Tatum problem. I think he thinks he is better than he really is.
Well, and that begs the question: wouldn't you? I mean, regardless of who
pretty
the
good.
coach is, regardless of the surroundings, if he's the superstar level that we all thought he was, and maybe he can still become, right? Shouldn't that have happened by now?
He's still only 23, so he still has time to grow. But I think that the couple off seasons that he had with Kobe, I think he thinks he's as good as Kobe was now, and clearly we watched the games. He's not Kobe Bryant.
And probably this is a bit of a rewind thing, is that what could add into that is, I mean, look at what he was put in such a good position from the very beginning. I mean, this dude freaking dunked on LeBron in the conference finals, like from the start. He's already,
I think we elevated him, and he got a big head. I think.
Yeah, because
So
it was like
They were
he's
really good
only 19.
when they were scrappy, and no one thought they were going to be that good, and they made the run, and they had Rozier, and they all were scrappy and fought hard and diving for balls, and now I don't know, it's not a good product.
I liked Romeo's
It's
defense
not a good
last night.
product.
I'll say that.
It is hard to watch.
Yeah. So
Bring back Taco.
For Christmas, I will be taking Francis to the Atlanta Hawks game. I forget what the date is exactly. And now I'm wondering, A, are we going to get there for COVID? B, is it going to be worth going, or should we just stop on Route 1 and stay at Kowloon and watch it on TV and sell the tickets?
It'll be worth watching Trae Young.
Well, that's why
If he plays.
we planned on going to a game that at least had a superstar on the court. Yeah, so
Yeah.
thank God he'll be there, God willing. What's the blow up?
Timmy,
though?
can we save some time at the end of the show? I have some questions about Kowloon.
There's
I
always,
don't wanna
there's
stop the
always
conversation,
time for the loon.
But
yes.
I've got Kowloon questions.
Well, there'll be a
that
whole
need to be
segment,
answered.
about loon. Actually, my Aiden went with his girlfriend down to visit my mom today, and they went to wait for it, honkin' bongs. They were at Hong Kong today. Which is always a good take because you have the whole restaurant to yourself because everybody's always in the bar, skiing. But anyway, great location, wonderful food, as my mother would say. So yeah, we'll definitely have some Kowloon time at the end for sure, Bobby Dugan. But what's the blow up?
Thank you.
Like nobody's taking Marcus Smart's contract, that new deal, right? Is anybody going to take that off our hands?
I think they got to get rid of one of the big two.
So you keep Jalen and you get rid of Tatum, and you bring in who?
The problem with the
it
NBA
points
is
to
you have to
Bradley
match
Beal and
salaries.
Tatum.
You have to. There's so much other. You can't just say, "Oh, I want to." You could, even if there was a team desperate enough, and you said, "I'll trade you Peyton Pritchard for Dame Lillard." You can't do it. You have to match up salaries. You have to be within a certain percentage of each salary. So it's a little tougher to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think
I don't know
Tatum's
who-
realistic trade value is?
The problem is
An all-star and another
yeah.
lower player probably.
I'm sure you could get Russell Westbrook right now.
I can get him for a pack of chips.
So, Bobby, are you in the LA area?
San Diego.
Oh, San Diego.
Say what?
So do you hear any of the LA press on the Lakers?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, this is a Lakers town fault, but it's not. Southern California sports media coverage is nowhere near that of the Northeast. And so that's a long answer to your question. The short answer is no.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
I was just wondering if they were ripping Westbrook out there the way that we see it on
That
Instagram.
team is a goddamn mess.
They might be more in LA, but here,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know. That's Scotty Dukes follows the NBA a lot better than I do, so I don't know what kind of packages would be out there to bring in. But this is not working. But even like I said, Tatum's 23 years old. He could still grow, but how long are you gonna wait to try and build this together when you've tried with Brown and Tatum with a bunch of different people around them and nothing seems to work?
Yeah,
And then you have teams like the Chicago Bulls have done things, and they've moved up in the rankings. And Cleveland Cavaliers are third place right now, and they don't have any like bona fide superstars on that team, but they're playing as a team. That's what I think which I'd be happy to see with the NBA is that you actually have to play like a team to win instead of just having, two superstars and you throw them out there and, it's whoever the best two players are on the field wins. I mean, the court. Be nice to see you have to actually put a whole team together.
How much do you feel like they obviously talked about, them being leaders and increasing the passing and getting away from ISO a little bit. Do you feel like that's stuck? Like since,
It doesn't stick for the whole game. That's the problem. They'll do it in spurts, and then they get up by 19 points, but then down the stretch, the last two games, at least I remember seeing, is that Tatum turned the ball over like 3 or 4 times, just dribbling. He turned the ball over. So
Pulling a Westbrook.
It doesn't look good.
Where do you think
Let's
they
move
finish?
on.
Like way out of it? Let's move on. Rubba Shoes wants to stop talking about basketball. I love
let's
all
move on
of
to
this.
Kowloon.
Well, the
Let's
problem
move on
is
to
now
Kowloon
that
questions.
they're doing that. They're keeping that play-in game, so you have the top 10 teams make the playoffs. So they're sitting right at 9-10. They could easily drop out because
I really
they're
don't
only
want to
like a
pretend
game
that I
ahead
care
of
about the play-in
two
game again.
teams.
Well,
I really
Little
don't want
Shoes.
to have to fake caring that we win that game.
I'm telling you, Little Shoes, they're going to stretch the playoff fence as much as they need to get Bronny in the playoffs. Right? Because the Lakers are a cat-ass trophy, and they're going to do whatever they need to do to make sure he somehow gets his 5 head into the game, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that was, to Marcus's credit, that game against the Lakers, was it like right off the tip? One of the opening, I think it was the opening possession, that loose ball, and Marcus dove for it, and like Bronny sort of bent over, like he was going to pretend to go for the ball, and Marcus dove for it. And I was like, oh, this is promising, but it turned out to not really be a phenomenal game. I don't.
That's our season in a nutshell.
Yeah, I'm shocked that it's nothing. I thought, okay, give him time, and he's a new coach, but I don't think a head coach in the NBA, or in any sport for that matter, has the same 3-year window. I've always theorized it, like a college football coach, a professional football coach, you need 3 years to get your program into the bloodstream.
Unless you're Urban Meyer.
Into the DNA of the team. Yeah. Then he's just trying to get his DNA into other things. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I think a football coach needs time. Like, especially college, you start to get your recruits on the field. You get your draft into the lineup, and I think it's different for basketball. And I feel like these two guys wanted this guy to be their coach, and Ime's here, and they're tone deaf to it. And it's a horror show.
It's crazy how little I care about the Celtics this year.
So Little Shoes and Rubber Shoes both don't want to talk about the Celtics. Are we on to the Bruins? Because they play again next month.
Single thing going on about the Bruins.
So we on to Kowloon, and then we're going home for the night, ladies. What's happening?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, Bruins are a team that exists in Boston. All right, Kowloon, let's do it, baby.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus, I'm choking.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. What are your Kowloon questions? This is the best. I'm so excited.
What is the deal with? Is it closing? Is it not closing?
Oh.
I'm hearing stories about. Don't worry about it. It's still a decade away. What is going on? Do I have to fly home tonight to get my last poo-poo platter, or what's going on?
You should fly home for a poo-poo platter anyway, and the Saugus wings.
That's true. That's true.
And it's yes and no. Here's my long answer to your short question, because we're talking about my favorite place, the Disneyland of Asian cuisine. So they, in the last year, went to a town meeting to discuss the meeting about, hey, we're eventually going to throw up this plot of land. And this is all because, of course, Hilltop Steakhouse across the street, thank God the cactus is still there, did what they know they're probably going to do. So my guess is this is based on no intel, because when I see Harry Wong, I kiss his ring and then I go to my table. But I trust the Wong family doesn't have any kids or son-in-laws or daughter-in-laws that are like, I'll take over. And if anybody from If anybody from Kowloon's listening, we'd love to know. We'd love to have you on the show. Absolutely. So I think their mindset is it's coming. Is it inside of a decade? Probably. Is it next week? No. And that plot of land, which is all parking lot, which is, to Janina's horror, always full. That's how you know. And here's the thing, though. You rarely wait more than a couple of minutes. And this is what people that have a life don't know, but I definitely know because I don't have a life. There's 1,200 chairs in this restaurant. 1,200 chairs in this restaurant. The beauty of Kowloon is the tiny ice, phenomenal. The Mai Tais that come back to your table after you ordered within 17 seconds. And the food is on your table within 2 minutes. Because you have to realize there's 1,200 chairs, there's takeout, there's delivery, and it's on Route 1 North when everyone's leaving sporting events. So it's the turn and burn that the food is always coming out. It's always hot and it's always phenomenal, is why it's so famous. The one thing that I would never want to see, and God bless my wife because she arranged, we just did my 50th there in October, and we're in the back room. And the one thing I reminded my brother-in-law, Ken, you never want to go in there. Well, probably three things, but definitely the first two. The lights on, or a black light, I could imagine. But they've spent $0.0, Dugan, on overhead, right? Like if you sit in one of those benches, if you go to the back room, the boat's on the right, and then the takeout area is on the left, on the main floor. If you go in that back left-hand side and sit in any one of the booths, every single booth has a torn saddle with duct tape on it. Yeah. There's duct tape on every chair in that. Like, it's not pretty, but the lighting's just dim enough, and by the time
you're eating in pitch black darkness, you can't even tell.
By the time you're about to complain about how long it's been before they change the carpet, you've got a Mai Tai in your hand and you don't care.
But would it feel right if they ever did? It just wouldn't be the same place.
No, and there's my concern. Should they sell, and they're going to, that plot of land is going to be worth a bunch of money. They're going to do what they did across the street at Franco Freddy's Hilltop. They're going to do condos and Starbucks, and it's going to get gentrified. They're going to make a ton of money. If one of the kids is like, you know what, same thing, smaller footprint, somewhere on Route 1, anywhere in America, I will still go there after a game. And it won't be the same. Because half of the je ne sais quoi is like the, what is that smell? Who cares? The food's here, right? Like, it's just, it's definitely not a place that you want to see it with the lights on. It's a nightclub. It's plum crazy, Dugan. That's what it is.
It's quite an interesting
environment. I wouldn't go that far.
No, it's not that bad.
Come on, at least the food is good there.
It's close, but it's not that bad. Yes.
You're eating food and
there was nothing healthy about Plum Crazy.
Which is now actually a restaurant, which is sort of ironic, yes. Yeah.
Which might be the new Kowloon. Who knows?
But it better not be. It better not be. I can tell you right now, it's not. It for sure isn't. But yeah. So closed tomorrow? No. Closed in 10 years? It won't be that long, I don't think. But
Will they at
Yeah,
least give us a
I think
2-minute
they're
warning
saying
when it
like
does
3
happen?
years.
yeah, it's going to be Rubba Shoes is right on. It's going to be inside a handful of years, and it's going to be. Yeah, that's not great news at all. But we'll still have Hong Kong in Chelmsford, thank God, because
Yeah.
that's
I just want them to at least give us some notice when that final date is here.
Oh, I will be camped out like Dave Matthews tickets. Are you kidding me? We will have a tent, Dugan. We will. I will be in there
Well,
on the
that's
final
another
day.
thing too. There's
And
gonna
if
be
they're smart, because
a
I will
line
do
of
it.
people so far out the door. At least that's my concern. People flying in from wherever they are, like me, and all the locals, and you end up never being able to get in there for that last time.
I think without fail, and I will. I'm sure somebody's already smarter than us and already thought of this. Without fail, the morning shows at our favorite sports stations would be smart because my favorite morning show at a sports station in Boston has a foundation. It would behoove him to probably put together the Last Supper. The Last Suppah, kid, right? The last meal at Kowloon, and you can bid to be in the building. And they serve the last Mai Tai, the last Saugus wing, lights dims, fin, and the curtain closes, and we're done. They would clean up.
Start saving your pennies,
Don't
dude.
Stop Believing.
And yes, don't stop. Yes, and then it goes dark. Tony got shot. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. Who cares? The Saugus wings are still good. Because I think that would be the way to do it. And if they're really smart, because people would do this, I would absolutely do this. They will sell like they did. They'll sell bricks as they level it, right?
Yep.
Could I get a chair from Kowloon? Yes, please.
I'd sell T-shirts that say "I was there last Supper."
1,000%. Because you know some maniac Dugan is going to buy that Barnacle Bodge that's on the right-hand side of the back room.
Sure.
The boat where the band sets up? Yes.
Gonna sell
I
all
would
the
take
random.
a Mai Tai T-shirt, just like a Kowloon T-shirt with like Mai Tai spilled on it. That to me would be perfect.
Hang on. You're going to love all this. Hang on.
They're gonna sell all the framed pictures of random wrestler movies.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah, I know. All the autographed pictures they have on the walls worth a ton of money.
As everyone knows, Dugan, I've been moving in and out of I've been moving since October from my old office. Finally starting to put stuff away. These are not from Kowloon, not from Hong Kong, but from our friends across the street at Kim Lai. I've got a Mai Tai glass. It gets better. I've got one of these, drink in the back, straw in the front. His sister's here. Yeah. Yeah. The whole collection. But yes, definitely a scorpion bowl. The actual physical ceramic bowl from Kowloon is a collector's item for sure.
I want the fountain. I want the water fountain.
Well, tell Dad to start bidding now because I'm sure that'll be expensive as well if they actually do sell
It'll
that
be next
stuff.
to my bed.
Maybe it's all a sick joke. Maybe the kids will be like, you know what, we're going to keep it open. We're going to keep it open.
You pay all the money for the Last Supper, and they close the curtains, and then it opens immediately, and it's all remodeled, brand new.
Yeah, just kidding. Just kidding. We decided to keep it open. Oh, boy. Have we put a bow on this one?
Yeah.
Should we get out while the getting's good, Rubber Shoes?
Well, the Tuukka Rask has been practicing with the team. For the Bruins. There hasn't been an official signing of him.
Isn't that a conflict? Not a conflict of interest, but isn't that outside of the framework of like the agreement? Because he's not technically a member of the team, but he's been practicing with them.
So he must have some type of contract because he's been listed as the emergency goalie a couple times. So there's some he's tied to the team somehow.
Yep.
Legally. So yeah, but he hasn't signed a contract to go, to play the rest of the season with them. Mm-hmm. But he's out there, and it's just a matter of time. I think they're just making sure there's going to be a season without all the. I mean, this last week has been unbelievable.
Pretty bad, pretty rough. Yeah, because they're back. They're not back for a few more days, right?
Tonight there are 3 games scheduled as of this morning. When I did the wrap up, there was 3 games scheduled for tonight.
But not the Bruins, though. The Bruins aren't back till
Now,
after.
the Bruins don't play until January 1st.
Yeah, okay. Oh, the first. Okay, I felt like it was later in the week. Well, so.
Yeah, no.
But here's the thing: do
Well,
they keep
getting them
Swayman?
postponed. They were supposed to play tonight, and then that got postponed. Then I think they were supposed to play Friday. That got postponed, and now they're supposed to play
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
The first, Saturday.
I thought the date was later than that. So Omar got too much money. They can't. He's not going anywhere. So they're going to move.
Swayman has the only options to go back down to Providence.
Okay.
So if they sign Rask, Swayman's going back to Providence.
And I'd love to see them play Olmark a little bit more just to get him out. Let him have a few hot games, and if somebody's desperate for a trade, but anybody going to take that contract? It's too hefty, right?
Yeah.
He got $20 million. Didn't he get 20?
For
4?
5 a year for 4 years.
Yeah. Ugh. Can we package him and Marcus Smart together and get rid of both of them? No, nobody's going to take that, right?
Nope.
What if we put in the fountain
they always
from
say
Kowloon?
somebody's trash is somebody else's treasure, right?
Somebody may want him. Yeah, great point, Little Shoes. N'Keal Harry. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
So glad we hung on to him, and we're gonna punish him and not trade him because he wants to.
Demanded a trade, and then because Algalore was out, we decided we're going to throw to him more. That didn't make much sense at all, but it's what we did. And here we are, looking at a Jaguars game that we could lose.
Yeah. Predictions for the Jaguars game?
Yes, let's get the predictions out before we escape.
Yeah.
What do you got, Rubba Shoes? Did we look at Vegas? Do we know exactly what they're claiming it's going to be? Hang on.
No. Before you tell me, I'm going to say Patriots 17, Jacksonville 10.
Patriots 17, Jacksonville 10. So
Patriots.
They are saying right now that the Pats are giving 50.5. Over-unders 42.5.
Oh.
They're giving how many?
15
How many
and a
points?
half. 15.5.
15.5.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think I'd take that bet.
Oh.
I think I would take the Patriots minus 15.5. I'll go under. I say Pats 31-7.
Pats 31-7.
I say Patriots 24, Jaguars 28. Because every time I've predicted the Patriots to lose, they've won, and that still is going on, so I have to do it.
I'll go Jaguars 27, Patriots 23. I'm killing you, Dugan. I'm 8-9, baby. I'm sticking to my guns. 8-9.
Yep.
Well, if they lose out, I'll be right.
Yeah, of course you will. What did you say, Rubber Shoes? What's your score?
9 and 8.
No, but what's your score for Sunday? I'm sorry.
Oh, 17-10 Pats.
17-10 Pats. All right. Excellent. Well, we appreciate everyone joining us. We're going to work on getting
Timmy,
on
before you
Facebook
wrap
at the
it up,
same
can
time
we get
next week.
Adam on? Because I really want to talk about the Connecticut Sun.
He will. He will. Maybe we'll have just the two of you on next week, like Stadler and Waldo.
We're gonna see the viewer just go down to 0, just like
that. like a bad '80s movie about cocaine. There's no such thing as less than 0. Don't worry, Little Shoes. It can't possibly get worse. Can't possibly get worse. Thank you for joining us, Dugan. Thank you for checking in from the left coast. Enjoy.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, guys.
The Patriots are at 1:00, so that's at 10 a.m. for you.
10 a.m. games are great, dude. You ought to experience it once in a while.
So you go
Grab
to
some
the
coffee,
what is the local
kick
Patriots
off.
bar?
Well, I mean, I've got tickets, so I don't do the bars anymore. But there are a ton of bars. They're always open by 9. You can get coffee. You can get drinks.
Breakfast.
You can get whatever you want.
Right.
It's all open air, man. NFL out here is fantastic.
Yeah, I would love that.
Can't be
'Cause
beat.
when I was in the Navy, I was in Tennessee for a little bit, and it was one time zone over. Just being that one time zone over was awesome. I can't even imagine just waking up and watching football. Boom.
10 o'clock.
It's great. You grab your coffee, you're good to go. The best part of the day, though, really, is that the night game. The NBC game is done by 8:30, 9 o'clock.
That's insane.
So you're good. You're not
That's
staying
when
up all night
when I
watching
go
the
to.
game.
That's when I fall asleep. It'd be perfect.
And honestly, if the Pats are playing at 10, if I don't want to watch the rest of the day, 1 o'clock, 1:30, I can go do something else, and the whole day is still there.
Get the
So
futon ready, Dugan.
it's awesome.
Rubba Shoes is coming out
Love
to
it.
sleep at your place. All right, we appreciate everybody joining us. Dugan, thanks for checking in. We will have Dukes hopefully back from the infirmary next week. Adam should be back from basketball practice next week. We will see you guys next Wednesday. To check out everything related to the show, it's atbshow.com for our link tree with all the links to all the socials, and we will be doing this in this format, live to YouTube, and of course, by next week, hopefully we'll be live to Facebook as well. Thanks for checking out the show. Tell your friends, comment, and share, and we appreciate all of your support. Have a great new year, Rubba Shoes. Behave yourself.
You too. Yeah.
And
Happy New
Dugan,
Year.
behave yourself. Little Shoes, do whatever the hell you want.
Not going to
Your
happen,
father-
but thanks.
All right.